In this next section, we're going to look at another type of Part 2 writing, which is the proposal. Let's first take a look at a proposal question. The proposal is for a group of English-speaking visitors who are coming to visit the school for a day in the near future. What the question asks you to do is to provide a type of program for this group of people. It also asks you to create a schedule for the day. And thirdly, it expects you to include activities and details that will happen on this day. And let's just look at a plan for writing this proposal. The first thing to do with a proposal is to produce a title, and this needs to be a suitable title for this particular topic. The first paragraph is the introduction, and in the introduction, the writer will describe the purpose of this particular proposal. The following paragraphs will give details of the proposal and what's planned. So in this case, what the writer has decided is to split the day into two parts. There are morning activities. So in this paragraph, they'll talk about the plans for the morning and what they intend to do. And then in the following paragraph, they look at afternoon activities and also give details on what those plans are. Then finally we have the conclusion, where the writer will summarize what they've said in the proposal and also try to present a positive opinion of this proposal. The first thing you need to do with a proposal is to provide a title. And again, it doesn't need to be something very complicated. You could choose a simple title like this, which explains exactly what the purpose is of this proposal. The title is very simple, and then the reader also knows what to expect in this particular proposal. The first part of a proposal is the introduction. And we can see an example here, and similar to the report, we can also see that there's a title on this introduction. It's not necessary to write a very long introduction to a proposal. It just needs to be something that explains what the proposal is about. So if we look at our example introduction here, clearly it states the purpose, and that's fine. That's exactly what you want to do. The language is appropriate, it's very formal. And finally, it gives some ideas about the organization of this proposal. After the introduction, the writer moves on to talk about the first part of the proposal. And in this case, it's the morning activities. And here's a sample paragraph of the details about this activity. So let's just evaluate the information here. We can see immediately that there is a title for the paragraph. Morning activities is perfectly fine. It explains what information the writer is going to give. The first part of the proposal is clearly outlined, and the writer provides plenty of other details about the idea. And the language is appropriate for a proposal. If we look now at the language and how this paragraph is organized, it's very clearly organized with lots of details in a logical order. There are also no errors in this text. There's a good range of language in here, where the writer has chosen a number of different ways of expressing ideas. One thing we can see is that there is a more informal example in this paragraph. This is perfectly natural for a proposal, because this proposal will be read by the school principal. So the writer is producing the proposal for colleagues. So you would not expect it to be very formal. And the writer uses a number of linking devices to join their ideas together effectively. The second idea in this proposal is the second part of the plan. And we can see an example paragraph here with the heading of afternoon activities. So let's evaluate what the writer has done in this case. They've used a title for this paragraph. Afternoon activities explains clearly what the reader can expect in the paragraph. It also provides a clear suggestion and a plan of what they can do with these visitors. And at the very end of the paragraph, the writer has also included an extra possible suggestion for the day visit. If we look now at the language and how they've organized this paragraph, the text is well organized and there are no errors here. They've also used a number of different linking devices, from very simple ones to some slightly more complex ideas. And there is a good range of appropriate language in this paragraph. The final part of this proposal, and any proposal, is a conclusion, or in some cases some form of recommendation. So here's our example paragraph, and once again we can see that it has a title, and the suitable title in this case is the conclusion. So let's just evaluate what the writer has done with this paragraph. First thing to say is that it is a good general summary of the purpose of the proposal, and this is always a good approach because it means you can remind the reader of the details that you've included in the proposal. The writer has also justified the choice of activities, and part of the reason for this is to persuade the reader that this is a good idea. The language here is appropriate, it's not incredibly formal, it's quite neutral, and finally it's another paragraph where there are no errors.